Once a powerful kingdom in Northern Europe, Scandinavia's biggest country is always a joy to come back to. In this adventure, I revisit Sweden's gilded capital, Stockholm. Explore the 1,000 islands that surround it, marvel at cutting-edge Swedish design and technology before getting lost in the frozen wilderness of Kiruna, where discoveries go beyond the surface. It's summer in Sweden's capital of Stockholm, and I was glad to be back. The days are long and bright, and the Swedes are out and about. Wandering around the city, you will be met with elegant architecture framed against a beautiful lakefront. In the old part of town called Gamla Stan, narrow cobblestone streets and medieval buildings will take you back to Stockholm's founding in 1252. In its heart is the Stortorget, the oldest square in Stockholm, once the center of economic and political activity. But not only has Stockholm preserved its old world heritage, it has also taken steps to protect its future. It was the first city in the world awarded the title of European Green Capital for having long-term solutions in place in protecting the environment and cutting down on carbon emissions. I met up with good friends John Grubbstrom, former president of the FAI, and Lars Ahlkvist, a ballooning buddy who have both visited me in the Philippines. They take me to Kastelholmen for a nice lunch under the shadow of the old military citadel. It happened to be Sweden's National Day, and everyone was out to celebrate.
So, Captain Joy, welcome to Stockholm, Sweden.
Very happy to be here, and it's the National Day.
It
I
is.
come in the right time.
You're coming to join our celebrations.
Yes.
Now you'll enjoy some typical Swedish food with the herring. It's marinated herring, meatballs, sausages, potatoes, salad, and of course a beer or a Coke.
Okay.
Typical Swedish.
Everything's good.
It was a perfect lunch with a view of Lake Malaren and the old town. Our Swedish National Day celebration continues, and John and Lars took me to the center of it all. Skansen, the world's oldest open-air museum. Here, you'll find a replica of a 19th century town, and you'll be sure to meet locals in their traditional dress.
So it's amazing to see you wearing all these costumes. What era and what period would these costumes be?
I would say it would be the 19th centuries.
19th centuries,
Yes.
okay.
So they usually use this for just festivities and like weddings and stuff when they need to dress up.
A little bit formal.
I was just in time to see these guys tap their toes to some traditional folk dances. Most of these dances originate from farmer folk, reflecting their way of life.
It's nice watching them and nice to be able to spend the National Day here in Stockholm.
But the celebration was far from over. As luck would have it, my good friends have arranged for me to have a personal audience with the Swedish royal family themselves, along with about 1,000 other people. Well, I still wouldn't pass up the chance.
So everybody's excited, waiting for the royal family to join us in the celebration of their National Day. Each one coming with a different band. representing the different communities and professions in the country.
The royal family finally arrived, much to the crowd's delight. Excitement and national pride hung in the air, and it was great to be part of it all. Before we called it a day, we drove to the nearby town of Vallentuna to revisit an airstrip. I have flown in Vallentuna before in Akke Janssen's DC-3, but it was not the only classic aircraft in this field. I met up with my good friend KG, who introduced me to Bjorn Ek and his nicely restored Republic CB. Intended as a hobby plane for airmen coming home from the war, it had a unique bulbous fuselage tapering into a slender tail, making it look like a tadpole with wings. Bjorn thought it would be a good idea to fly it over Stockholm's Archipelago. As soon as we picked up speed, the tail went up and we were airborne. I could feel the original Franklin engine pulling the airframe with all its might. Bjorn let me have control, and it was a funny feeling steering the old-style yoke, which reminded me of an old American car. As we cruised, the CB gave superb visibility that allowed for great views of the islands below. Bjorn enjoyed pointing out some castles and other interesting islands. I could tell that this area was his playground. We soon found our landing spot and made our final approach with full flaps. With a deep V hull, it was a smooth touchdown. The flying boat settled quickly, balanced by the pontoons on both sides. The great thing about the aircraft was the reversing propeller, making it very maneuverable on the water. What a fun flying experience on this unique, classic aircraft over such a beautiful landscape. Up next, I trace Sweden's cultural and technical heritage through its aviation history while marveling at cutting-edge Swedish design and technology. While in Stockholm, I did not pass up the opportunity to visit an iconic Swedish name. Not just in aviation, but also in military defense. I was welcomed to the Saab Visitor Center by Per Stenflet, who walked me through the company's unique history and line of products. Starting, of course, with the Saab Gripen fighter.
This has a new engine. It's a little bit bigger because it's taking more fuel.
Yes, so longer range.
Longer range, yeah, more thrust.
The first of the Gripen series was developed in the 1980s, designed to be powerful, easy to maintain, and cost-effective. Over the years, Saab has constantly improved the Gripen to become an excellent performing multi-role fighter. Aside from aeronautics, Saab also provides solutions for land combat, naval systems, surveillance, and even air traffic management and safety. Saab began in 1937, just as Europe braced for another world war. To protect its neutral stance and sovereignty, the Swedish government decided to build a strong air force. The limited resources available gave rise to innovative thinking and daring technology, qualities that Saab is known for today. But to be able to really understand Sweden's aviation heritage and see the Gripen up close, I had to go back to its roots, the city of Linköping. Linköping is an old cultural city that was quite rural at the turn of the century. But before I visit the Saab headquarters, I first drop by another landmark in the city, the Flygvapen, or Swedish Air Force Museum.
I'll tell you that this aircraft museum is one of the biggest in the world. So altogether we have around 330 aircrafts.
Wow, that's a lot.
And all have been joining the Swedish Air Force, all except one. And many of them are built in Sweden too.
The museum contains an impressive collection of aircraft, tracing Swedish aviation history, from its pioneers to the periods of development between, during, and after the wars.
We tried to buy aircraft from every country in the world, but they said no, because everyone knew that a new world war was coming on. The Swedish government said we have to build our own aircraft, and they asked Volvo, the car company, they asked SKF, and they asked several big factories. Everyone said no, until they asked the government railroad system, SJ, that had a firm in Linköping called ASJ. And they asked, can you make aircrafts?
That's how it started.
Yes.
I see.
When the first airplane was built, the first one, they changed the name to Swedish Aero Company, Saab.
Thus, Saab began. Armed with their experience and knowledge of foreign aircraft, they were able to determine what they really wanted for their own air force. The first plane they built was the Saab B-17, a single-engine, two-seater that can be reconfigured as a dive bomber, vertical bomber, or reconnaissance aircraft, depending on the engine.
And this is the first aircraft in the world that was built totally in metal.
By 1945, the engineers unveiled a third plane, the Saab 21A, a highly advanced fighter with twin tail booms, ejection seat, and a pusher propeller. This design eventually became Sweden's first jet.
But this one was the first with a pushing propeller.
Yes, only one, yes.
And what did they gain from that? They could be the first aircraft with a nose wheel. Without a propeller, they could have a quite heavy cannon in the front.
Right.
The jet-powered J-29, called the Flying Barrel, evolved into the sleek Draken. And the powerful Viggen eventually developed into the cutting-edge Gripen. The Gripen has developed into one of the world's best multi-role fighters. I found myself in Saab's headquarters in Linköping to see the aircraft up close. Turns out, I even had to dress the part.
We're standing here in front of the Gripen C version. The C stands for its single-seat aircraft. This is a quite small aircraft.
Very maneuverable.
It's very maneuverable. It's hard to see actually from visual sensation and also from radar detection.
Andre and I did the 360 of the fighter, and I couldn't help but admire its many interesting design features, including its iconic canard design.
So Andre, this is a special feature of the Gripen. I was wondering how it works and how effective it is.
We talked a little bit of the maneuverability of the Gripen, and it's very agile. And the hardest one to fight with, that's the one that you're not able to see. So we talked about the size, but also the maneuverability. You know, like a wasp around you and hit you all the time.
Yes.
So you need to have a great level of maneuverability. And one of those things that we have a digital flight control system, and this is a canard, for example. So the computer's running at all time because it's unstable aircraft, very agile during turning. And so when I'm flying around with the stick, I'm demanding the computers to give me 100%, 100%, 100%.
Correct.
So it's a carefree system.
Designed to be lightweight And with a highly configurable arsenal of weaponry, the Gripen can also seamlessly change between air-to-air, air-to-surface, and reconnaissance mission in one sortie if needed. Another notable advantage is its high operational ability and quick turnaround.
It's very easy to maintain and from a technical side, to be able to work with the Gripen.
Independently, you don't have to open everything.
No. You have the accessibility on the whole aircraft. For example, we're able to change engine within 1 hour, and that's very unique to fighter aircraft. But it's a good thing when we're talking about the fighter aircraft.
It's like you're in a racing team.
It's all about the timing, because if you're not able to scramble a fighter in time and the opponent will do something, you need to have a quick turnaround. That's one of the great things of the Gripen.
Andre let me sit on the cockpit to take a closer look.
So gears. So this is your stick in the middle, your throttle here.
Yeah, and actually that's a system hand controller, as we call it. So it's actually a joystick. You can see it's on the same time. If you push it forward,
yes,
the whole thing forward.
Oh,
is
okay.
On the same time is the thrust.
Oh,
so you're able to control the system and at the same time
and do your throttle.
And do the throttle.
Gee, well, only because it's fly-by-wire too, huh?
Yeah.
Your throttle doesn't have any cables, so
No,
it's
it's
fly-by-wire.
So you're actually controlling a computer that will do everything needed.
And same here.
Yeah, it's same there.
Wow, this feels good. Can't imagine flying something like this.
So now I brief you about the Gripen. Are you ready to fly?
Fly, yes, I'm ready anytime.
Well, it's a single-seat aircraft. It's a solo flight.
Uh-oh. Maybe I need another 24 hours of breathing.
Okay, you will manage.
I feel I needed more than 24 hours of briefing to be able to fly a fighter this advanced. So I decided to do the next best thing. Observe it closely from the ground.
Very lucky today, we were given the opportunity to observe the test flight of the Gripen. And we're right here, very close to the runway, to see how it really works.
It was an incredibly powerful, short-field takeoff. With a relatively low operating cost and packing highly advanced technology, the Gripen proves that the age of air superiority fighters is far from over. Up next, I explore more of Sweden, driving up north to the Laplands and deep into its Arctic wilderness. I continue to explore Sweden, this time venturing up north to the area called Lapland. Together with my friend Lars, we drove into the heart of the Arctic Circle. Making a few stops along the way, we took in the Lapland's wild beauty. It helped that we had a perfect car for the terrain, the Volvo XC60. This modern, compact crossover is a typical example of good Scandinavian design. Simple, uncluttered, powerful, and secure. Kiruna is Sweden's northernmost town, long inhabited by the nomadic Sami people, one of the oldest indigenous people on Earth. The Sami culture is still seen in almost every aspect of life in modern-day Kiruna. We stopped to admire a unique red building as we arrived in town.
The Kiruna Church was once voted to be Sweden's most beautiful building. It was patterned after the traditional Sami tent.
We were lucky to see the church where it's currently standing, because this building, and in fact the rest of the town, is currently being moved to a safe distance away. Because underneath Kiruna lies the largest body of iron ore in the world, discovered by the Sami people in ancient times. To learn more, I went down almost 2,000 feet below the ground to LKAB, the state-owned company operating the mine since 1890.
It's the largest iron ore body in the world.
Okay.
So, of course, they wanted to mine here, and they found out it was magnetite also, and that's all. Today, it is an advantage for LKAB.
And how does it affect the community? I understand you're moving the community itself to another location.
Yes, because LKAB needs more area because the iron ore body inclines under the city.
Iron ore is the most widely used metal in the world. When refined into steel, it is used for skyscrapers, cars, ships, and thousands of other items. Each day, the Kiruna mine yields 75,000 tons of iron ore per day, roughly the equivalent of 10 Eiffel Towers. When iron ore is mined, it affects the surface, creating sinkholes that can swallow up the town above. Thus, the need to move the whole town a few kilometers eastward to a much safer area.
If a mining company needs to take areas where people are living, the mining company has to pay for it. So LKAB is buying the houses.
Okay.
A good price, the marketing value plus 25%.
Oh.
The entire move will take about 20 to 30 years to complete. It was fascinating to see the foresight and ingenuity of the people of Kiruna to be able to live in symbiosis with the mine that created their town. Adaptation is one of the qualities that Sami people in northern Scandinavia have, which allow them to thrive in the Arctic environment. To have mobility in the thick snow, they built sleds and turned to man's best friend for help. Lars and I visited Husky Home in Kiruna to learn about this strong and sturdy breed.
So Ylva, how many dogs do you have in this place?
We have 45 dogs.
45! We have one and I have a tough time taking care of it. 45 will drive me crazy. But how did it start?
It started with hunting dogs.
Oh, you have hunting dogs as well?
Bird hunting dogs. I spent a lot of time in the mountains hunting, and then I bought my first husky, and then I got more and more.
And now it's 45.
Yeah.
And do you breed them yourself?
I breed them myself. I prefer to have them from very small because then I can shape them in the way I like it from the beginning.
These are Alaskan Huskies, known for being highly efficient sled dogs.
And these are bred for long distance races.
Most of them are very athletic.
Yeah, they are very athletic, so they should last very long.
Now is summer. During the summer, how do you keep them busy? Because, you can't just put them inside the cage, right?
No, as we will see, we have the big pens.
Okay.
800 square meters where they run free. I like to have them in packs so they interact.
Yes.
But the most important actually to train in summer, I think, is to relax.
And how do you do that?
We do that with meditation. I heard them with my body language, my energy. I can take 20 of them, and I heard them into a small place,
and
like a corner.
Follow. Yes.
Yeah, and I heard them together, and then I just stay there, and I am calm, no feelings, and then I stand there till they all lay on the side and sleep. And also this meditation is really good. We use it in winter because when they are tied up to the sled, if you have a rope around you, you can panic because it hurts. But now they trust me so much. So when I go up and I put a hand on them and they like, okay, she will fix this. And I think it's because of the meditation, because they are used to be tied together.
Yes.
It was very interesting to visit a husky kennel and see how they are trained for the winter. But there is one place in Kiruna where one can experience Arctic sub-temperatures 365 days of the year, the Ice Hotel. Despite the cold, I was given a warm welcome by Julia.
Hi, Julia.
Hi and welcome to Ice Hotel.
Thank you.
And Ice Hotel 365.
I know, why 365?
Because this one is open year round. So you can come here in the summer and it's 25 degrees outside.
And here?
And here is -6 all the time.
-6, that's why I'm starting to freeze already. You know, so this is something very unusual for me.
I can see that, yeah.
And this is what, a bar? You have a bar
behind
here?
me we have the ice bar.
Okay.
So here you can come and you can order a drink and then you get it from an ice glass like this.
So this is real ice?
That is real ice from the Torno River. Same as all the ice here.
This very unique hotel is made up entirely of ice from the water in the nearby Thorn River. Powered by solar panels, the Ice Hotel 365 can welcome guests even in the heat of the summer outside. Each room showcases the work of an artist invited to design these unique ice sculptures.
So Julia, this is the rooms.
Yeah, it is. So this is dancers in the dark and this is with clowns and here is sleeping.
Okay.
And this one...
And this is supposed to be warm. It's still cold.
Yeah. Now it's a little bit cold, but then you get the sleeping bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have lights under, on the side.
Yes, exactly.
For those who are brave enough to stay overnight, sleeping bags with a temperature of 20 degrees are provided to allow you to stay warm on the ice beds. And if you're wondering about the bathrooms, they're quite warm. No toilets made of ice, thank goodness. Being surrounded by crystal clear ice, shaped into such amazing works of art, felt like being inside a dream. Ephemeral, just like the ice that it is made of. Sweden's stark contrasts are a joy to discover. From its lush archipelago to its frozen wilderness, Swedish innovation and cutting-edge technology are alive and well, continuing to make a difference in the world as we know it. In the next part of this adventure, I continue on to Norway, to a little-known group of islands conquered by the might of men, but ruled by the endless sea.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari.